I don't know how much longer this financial system can last. The best way to kill capitalism is to debauch the currency. So I don't know if Americans know what's going on. But for the average person like me, the dollar going down, without purchasing power going down, and commodities like copper going up, is that inflationary? How long can we keep printing money to solve our problems, which are structural? The world is rich, but the people are poor. And that's causing this huge split. For the system to work, you've got to screw somebody. I'm sitting there going, ¿Qué pasa? What is happening? We're screwed. That's what I'm saying. The Republicans and Democrats, all these people are now waiting for the next stimulus or the bailout, or whatever you want to call it. And they're using this as a political football. The Democrats say it's not enough money. Even Trump says, let's give them more money. But now they're saying, let's not do that. And on top of that, you have the teachers not wanting to go back to school to teach. This country is coming apart. And then you have the rioting, the fires, the flooding. And that's what's happening to America. And your generation faces some of the biggest challenges ever, any generation. Let me just say, there's a million ways you can go to financial heaven. So there's millions of ways. And for your generation being tech savvy, you probably have 2 million ways. There's look at the guys who created TikTok and all this other stuff. They're creaming it. But the other side of it, on the other side of the coin, there's 2 billion ways to go to hell. And since our schools don't teach us anything about money, a lot of people are going to go to hell. But let's just give you the way I planned it out. I never did well in school, okay? And I figured out that financial education was going to be a big business. Because when I was 9 years old, I was looking for the answers too, is how do I get rich? And one of the ways I got rich kind of inadvertently is I wrote a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. 47 million copies now. It's called intellectual property. So when I designed my business, plus the cash flow gain and all this stuff, I designed intellectual property. In other words, the stuff that came out of my head, and I made property out of it. Now, with that money from intellectual property, I use debt, borrowed money from the banks to buy real property. So in 2008, when the subprime market crashed, interest rates fell. And when interest rates fall, that means the cost of money was going down for the rich. At the same time, the cost of money was going up for you guys. If you're poor, you get credit cards, or you get payday loans and all this. But for those with financial education, the cost of money was coming down. Plus, all the people that lost their properties, that all went on sale. Do you know what I mean? I was buying apartment houses for pennies on the dollar, plus using cheap money. So it starts with intellectual property, my books and games. And with that, I go to the bank because the bank will give those with financial education money to buy the best real estate in the world. Meanwhile, they screw everybody else. So really, that's the system. And that's why there's no financial education in schools, because for the system to work, you've got to screw somebody. For most people, 1,000 years ago, the religion and God was the authority. Today it's the Federal Reserve Bank and the Treasury. And our school system, they're just puppets. You look at, the Federal Reserve Bank has over 900 PhDs. How can 900 PhDs screw it up so badly? But the problem is they're PhDs just like my poor dad. They don't know anything about money. Compared to what the police are facing today, I had it easy. The police today, I feel for them. They're on the streets. And so when, Black Lives Matters and Antifa and all this other stuff says defund the police and, these textbook theorists, So they send, we have to reimagine the police. And these guys don't live in the same world that we live in. And the thing your generation has is you guys have more reality than I ever had because you got more channels to tune into. When I was a kid, I only had one TV channel and about 3 radio stations. Now there's 10 million of these things. So your access to information is massive. It's how do you process that information from here? So if you get triggered by, Trump saying this or Biden saying that and all that, then you're not intelligent because you're just taking a side. I do my best not to take a side. I want to understand the other side. So when Richard Wolff says a capitalist brings nothing to the party, well, that's because he lived his life in academia, like my poor dad. They don't know that's the real world. That's college professors. That's the Fed, 900 PhDs who don't have any idea what's going on life in the streets. And so we're going into a depression right now. And it's not anybody's blame or fault. It's just a cycle. There's a cycle every 90 years, 80 to 90 years. So we'll be in depression from 2020 to 2030. Now you can look at it, which side of the coin, you can say, oh, that's really bad. Or you can say, this is the biggest opportunity I ever had. The advantage your generation has is you're tech savvy. My generation isn't. So take advantage of your advantage. Without legal, ethical, and morally, hopefully. But, and another thing I want to be really clear on, people think it's money that makes people evil. It's not money, it's what you do for the money. So there's so many ways you can make money, but it's not money, it's how you make your money. And that's a very big difference in your life, long term. It's really how the system is manipulated via the military, via education. The people that can, it's the golden rule, he who has the gold makes the rule. The whole system was based upon, can I get you into debt? So if I can get you to borrow from me, I'm making money. See, what happened after 1971? Money became debt. But if you understand how the central banks screwed the world, so here's America, we go into, let's say, Brazil, and we talked to the president of Brazil and said, look, we're going to give you $2 billion, and you're going to build a hydroelectric dam for the people. So naturally, the president of Brazil or Argentina or Japan, who didn't make any difference, said, oh, you're going to give me a loan? They go, yeah. And the reason to give them a loan is that's how money is created. So the president of, let's say, use Brazil, good country. So they borrow $2 billion to build this dam. Does that money ever leave America? No. So the oligarch, the president and his buddies get the cuts. Everybody gets a little cut and they keep their mouth shut and they tell the people, we're doing it for the people. We're going to build this hydroelectric dam. There's going to be jobs. There's going to be power and all this stuff. So they go in there. The dam is built by, let's say, probably American companies. So the money never left America. And the dam is finished and all this, but then the people of Brazil have to pay for the dam. And so they suck, Brazilian real or pesos or whatever you want to say, out of the country. And it bankrupts the other country. So that's the real system of money. It's no different than me saying, oh, here's a credit card, student loan, have fun. Or here's a mortgage. After 71, money became debt. And the only way in the old style of thinking you could get rich was get somebody else into debt. So most assets are debt. Like a piece of real estate, it's a piece of debt. And then what the so-called experts say is get out of debt when the rich guys are taking debt and buying assets. So, what's it, Dave Ramsey, live debt-free? That's good advice if you're an idiot. If you don't know how to use debt, live debt-free.